Pagan shooter again. Okay, so we did go out and shoot the Heritage Rough Rider this morning. Got pretty warm. I had to pack it in. I wanted to go ahead and follow up with this and show the cleaning, just so everybody knows. Safety is on, and it is empty. Not a bullet in any of the chambers. Okay, so a couple things about this gun. It is like the Colt that it is modeled after, single action only. You have to cock the hammer to pull the trigger. You cannot fire this weapon without cocking the hammer. It does do the safety cock, then the half cock for loading and turning the cylinder freely. Has the loading gate. Loading gate appears to be made of either plastic or a really light inferior metal. Does have a safety. It's a revolver and has a safety. Safety's off, so red fire. You can see the red in there, maybe. And then, of course, safety on. It is a transfer bar safety, or a hammer block safety, where basically when you flip it up, it puts a bar in the way and it stops the hammer from striking the firing pin. So this is one of the few 22s that you could actually dry fire and not have a problem, as long as the safety's on. If the safety is not on, I've actually heard of the cylinder getting damaged right around where the 22 rim is supposed to be, where it actually causes damage to that cylinder, and then it causes problems with firing the weapon. So positives, or let's go into the negatives actually. Negatives. The finish is cheap. It's a very cheap finish. It's literally painted on. When you fire it, you lose bits of the finish. This isn't dirty. That's where the finishes come off from firing. This is the 22 long rifle. You can see on the frame where the finish is actually coming off from firing it, where the blast from firing it is taking off the finish. So finish is not very good. The ejector rod on the smaller version, the 3-inch version, which I believe is a 3 or 3 1/4. The ejector rod is not long enough to push the shells all the way out. However, in mine, it's not such a huge deal, because mine actually the shells don't seem to expand too much, or I haven't experienced too much of that. I have seen in some of the other videos online where the shells have expanded and gotten stuck, and they're hard to remove, and you have to get a fingernail underneath or a knife, or it becomes quite a challenge with some of those. Mine isn't that bad though, but you can see where it's actually starting to wear. As far as that is, it's not such a big deal for me. I know it's not an expensive gun. The other thing though that does kind of bother me is the ejector rod feels like it is metal on metal constantly. I've put oil in there, I've put or rip and drip in there, I've put grease in there, all kinds of different lube in there, and it's very, very difficult to believe that that is the way it's supposed to be. You can hear like a grinding noise. Also the ejector is actually plastic, and it's not full because it's a small revolver, so it's just a loop of plastic, and it feels very, very cheap. So I think that'll be one of the things that does break on it. Now, as far as what other people have complained about, sighting. The sights in the model that I got, The sights are not adjustable. They're the standard iron sights that you would have gotten on the Colt 45. They literally, you look down between the notches here to the permanently affixed piece on the front, and you aim that way. There really isn't a way to adjust it. I've heard of people bending this. I don't think that's a good idea. Honestly, I just got used to how this gun fires. Now, with most guns I've had that did not have adjustable sights, you make your adjustments on the way that gun shoots. That's my opinion, by the way. So I guess don't really flame me for having my own opinion. So that's the downsides. And the sights for me aren't really a downside. That's actually okay with me. And quite honestly, the rest of the stuff that I mentioned, I can live with. I know it's not an expensive gun. This cost me less than $200. In fact, just over 150. So I'm not complaining. And it literally, I mean, there's other models of this. They've got the full heel. They've got with the full backstrap heel and the wooden grips. They've got longer barrels, 4-inch, 6-inch, 8-inch barrels. In the small bore, in the large bore, I believe they only go 4 and 6-inch, but I could be wrong on that. But otherwise, I mean, it feels all right. The safety was a little new to me, but I kind of like it, actually. I like the idea that I can throw a safety on my revolver too. I do like my automatics to have safeties. The only exception to that would be my pocket pistol. Breaking it down is pretty easy. Once again, you want to make sure you put it at half cock, open your load gate, and check for your ammo. See if there's anything in there. Nothing's in there? Good. Then you push this button here and pull the rod, and the cylinder will literally fall out. I mean, it fits nice and snug in there when it's firing, but literally when you pull that pin out, it's done. It comes right out. The pin does show some wear. I usually keep that nice and oiled, as well as the center of the cylinder. When I'm cleaning, I usually clean that too, because with this, it doesn't mesh up as well as I would like it to. So I know that it's going to get a little bit of the powder residue in there. And normally when I clean it, I just use some standard Hoppe's number 9. I put it in a squirt bottle because it's easier to use. And I just drip it around the outside edge because I'm going to clean the face. I'm going to clean the cylinder so I get it good and covered. And I use the 22 today, so I'm going to use that. Clean that face up. And then you can't get a push rod from the back end, and I know you should normally do it, but I'm just going to run a little bit of Hoppe's number 9 down there, and I know a little bit's gotten in there, and then I'm going to put a little on the back face here for cleaning purposes, and I'm going to get my finger on there, and now I'm going to grab a brush and just start scrubbing on it. So let's scrub this thing. So, and once again, I like to clean my weapons as soon as I'm done shooting. Usually that night at least. The longest I'll usually let it go is a day or two. But I like to make sure that they're clean afterwards. And I guess, people could say, well, if you have a high-end weapon, it doesn't matter. But, in this case, even if I had high-end weapons, I would clean them. In fact, in the past, when I did have high-end weapons, I would clean them after shooting them every time. And back then, I had friends that would tell me, oh, you don't have to do that. No, I do. And that's okay. Everybody's different. If you don't do it, I'm not going to judge you. Let's see. So, get around the firing port because it shoots out around there, around the back of the barrel. And now I'm going to go ahead and run a brush through everything. If you can, Bass Pro Shops has these, and these are a godsend for 22. You don't have to cut up the larger patches. So I'm going to take my coated push rod, because it's much easier on the bore, and I'm going to grab my 22, which is this one. No, it's not. There you are. I'm going to grab my 22, which actually I got from my Phoenix Arms cleaning kit, which I will do a review on that here in the next couple of days. I may go out shooting again tomorrow and take that. Jealous yet? So basically I clean every cylinder, get it nice and scrubbed. And this brush I like because it's a little smaller than the cylinders, and it gets it in there nice and clean, and I'm able to go back and forth like that without causing any damage in these cylinders, and it gets all the residue from the firing, and everybody knows 22s are filthy. So we're gonna get these cleaned out, and I'm gonna run my brush down the center just to make sure all the residue and dirt and dust, and I live in Arizona, so you know, dust gets pretty much into everything. And run a brush down the barrel and back, down the barrel and back, down the barrel and back. That should be good. I really didn't put a ton of rounds through this, so it shouldn't be too bad. Now watch this make a liar out of me. Let's see. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to get a couple patches out, and we're going to run some patches. So let's move on with more about this. So what would I like to have seen them do with this? Well, honestly, I can't really complain because I know I got this for a really good price. I know that you can't get 22 revolvers of this style for less than $200-300 normally. So I know Heritage is putting out a product that is, well, let's face it, it's cheap, but that's what it's designed to be. It's mass produced and all poured. It's not custom made, so you're not going to have the nice fit and finish that you do in some of the higher end weapons. Would I buy this gun again? Yeah, I actually would. In fact, up until recently, I was thinking of buying a different backstrap for it. So I had the option of whenever I wanted to switch out the backstrap and the grips to the standard heel grip and backstrap. So that would have been a really nice option to have. Unfortunately, lately on their site, they're not showing any of, wow, that came out clean. They're not showing any of those options anymore. So I'm wondering if either they got in trouble for sending them through the mail, or if they're closing shop, or I don't know. I'd hate to speculate on that, but you know, I don't know why they would stop selling something that they had on their site. Maybe they just weren't selling them. They also had spare cylinders too, and different finishes on there. Not sure what happened to all those, but they are only down to a few parts now listed on their site. So it could just be that they got a huge run on orders or something. I don't know. There's my clean one, and I missed one of my cylinders. So let's see. Nope, I think I got all my cylinders. So getting back to the barrel, we're going to go ahead and run a patch through it. And yeah, see, the barrel's coming out pretty clean. I didn't put that many rounds through it today. So anyway, getting back to the website, I was hoping that I would be able to find something like that. But, you know, I still hold out hope that eventually it will become available again. I'm not 100% concerned about that. I mean, I like the gun the way it is, but it would have been nice to have the extra. So let's see. So what options do you have as far as packages with these? Well, with this one, like I said, it came with just the pistol, and it came with the 2 cylinders, and it was a rather inexpensive package. They have another package that essentially is a pistol with the multiple cylinders or single cylinder, they sell them, and they have either a holster or a display case to them, but I really wasn't into either one of those. I wouldn't wear the holster, because, you know, honestly, I'm not into that. No, not against anybody that is, but I'm not into that. And then the gonna try a little snake oil on it this time. By the way, this I got out of a man cam from Iraqi veteran 8888. So that would that's one of my favorite channels. So we'll put a little snake oil there, and we'll put a little in there. But anyway, I would have liked to have had the option of buying other stuff. They still have like the holsters and stuff, but anyway, I digress. We get back to hopefully they do end up carrying that stuff again soon. And I like to keep the Magnum in there, because I do keep it in the safe loaded with the Magnum rounds. My kids are not allowed in there. My wife never goes in there. So, and then the pin goes right back in. And smooth action. Safety's on, so you can hear, just like a standard Colt, the cylinder turns. You can hear the turning. And see, even with the oil in there, it still has a little bit of that grind. But, you know, and you can see the push rod does come out a little bit. But if you got the long Magnums in there, they don't really push out. Anyway, that would be my Heritage. I enjoy it. Some people have been complaining about them. I've heard of people complaining that they get a space in where the cylinder is. I haven't had a problem with any of that either. But, you know, that's what you get for getting the low end. I know Heritage has a warranty on these. And honestly, I haven't had a reason to find out if it's any good or not. But I'm quite happy with my purchase. This is Pagan Shooter, and I hope you enjoyed the video.